You just had the worst day of your life. You come home and you do not say a single word. You do not have to. Your dog crosses the room, rests his head on your lap, and just looks at you. How did he know? You did not cry, you barely made a sound. But something in the air shifted the moment you walked in. And he felt it before you even sat down. Here is the unsettling part. You cannot hide this. Your sadness has a smell, and you cannot turn it off. That looks like a cute moment. It is something far stranger. It cuts to the core of emotion, of consciousness, of what it means to feel. So let us actually answer it properly. Start with something science was embarrassingly slow to admit. Animals have emotions. If you have ever had a pet, you knew this within 2 days. But for most of the last century, science said something colder. That animals were just biological machines. A wagging tail was not joy, it was a hardwired response. Very tidy, very much how someone who never owned a dog would describe one. Then the field started noticing things it could not explain away. Chimps who lost a companion fell into something that looked like depression. They withdrew, they stopped eating, they grieved. Elephants returned to the bones of their dead years later, traveling far to touch them softly, for no reason that helps them survive. Dolphins stayed beside their dead calves long after any reason to. Machines do not grieve. Machines do not visit the dead. Then neuroscience looked inside their heads and everything changed. The brain network behind human emotion is not a human invention. It runs through nearly every mammal, traces reach birds, even fish. Which means emotion is not something we invented. It is an ancient tool, hundreds of millions of years old. Evolution kept it because it works. Fear keeps you from predators. Attachment keeps a group together. Grief marks the loss of something that mattered. Emotion is old, far older than us. And if animals have the hardware for emotion, the next question is obvious. Can they read it in someone else? The answer is yes, measurably, conclusively yes. But how they do it is where this gets genuinely strange. Start with your dog's nose. It holds around 300 million scent receptors. Yours has 6 million. That gap is not small. It is like you seeing one candle and him seeing that flame from 50 miles away. When you walk into a room, you see a room. Your dog reads the entire chemical story of everyone who was ever there. Their health, their food, their fear, their stress, a richer world entirely. Now here is why that matters for you. When you are sad, your body does not just feel different, it is different. Your stress hormones rise, your sweat changes, your breath changes. These are not poetic metaphors, they are real molecules leaving your body. And your dog is catching every single one of them. In one study, dogs sniffed only breath and sweat on a cotton swab. No faces, no behavior, just the chemical signal. They spotted the stress samples correctly over 93% of the time. Your dog does not sense your sadness in some vague, mystical way. He smells it the way you would smell smoke from a fire 2 streets away. By the time you sit down, he already has the full report. But smell is only half of it, because dogs also learn to read your face. For 15 to 40,000 years, dogs have lived inside our lives. Sleeping beside us, watching us, depending on us. And over that vast time, something with no real parallel happened. Dogs evolved a mind tuned specifically to read human faces. Not dog faces, human ones. Shown photos of happy and angry strangers, dogs could tell them apart. People they had never met, and they got it right. Faced with anger, they grew cautious. Faced with joy, they came closer. They were not just telling the difference, they were deciding what it meant. They even read the more expressive side of your face first. The exact same habit you use when you read another person. They built a whole layer of mind just to understand us. In a real, measurable way, dogs became experts at being human. But dogs are the obvious case. What about the others? Take cats, they deserve the floor. Cats have a reputation for not caring. There is a reason. Dogs were bred to work with us. Cats were bred to work near us. But do not be fooled. Cats behave differently around a smiling owner than a frowning one. And the effect is strongest with their own person, not strangers. A cat has not learned humans in general. It has learned you. Your particular sounds when you are stressed, your movements when something is wrong. Not I know what sad humans look like, I know what you look like sad. Horses go somewhere else entirely. Shown an angry human photo, then meeting that same person hours later. A horse stayed wary, even though the person now behaved neutrally. It remembered the emotion, it formed an expectation, it acted on it. That is not reflex, that is memory built on feeling, carried across time. Now go all the way to the wild, to elephants. They are among the most emotionally complex animals we have ever studied. They comfort each other in distress. They greet old friends with something like joy. And here is the part that reaches toward you. Elephants respond to the distress of other species, not just their own. Young ones approach frightened animals of other kinds, calm and reassuring. Which means empathy is not locked inside a single species. It can cross any line, as long as the signal is clear enough. And if it can cross from elephant to animal, it can cross to you. You may simply be the distressed creature nearby. Now come back to that couch. Detecting your sadness is one thing, choosing to respond is another. In one test, crying owners sat behind a light door a dog could push open. The dogs whose owners cried were far more likely to open it. But here is the extraordinary detail. Those dogs opened the door more slowly, more calmly, not in a panic. They seemed to steady themselves, so they could actually be there for you. That is not a reflex, that looks unsettlingly close to compassion. Now let us be honest about what we still do not know. Science can measure behavior, it cannot feel what your dog feels. Is there real care behind those eyes, or only clever pattern matching? Honestly, we cannot fully prove it either way. But here is the reply to anyone reaching for cold mechanism. The same emotion brain is in dogs, cats, horses, and elephants. The behavior maps exactly onto what real empathy would look like. It is targeted, it fits the moment, it even holds itself steady to help. When something looks, acts, and is wired like empathy, the burden flips. You are no longer proving it is real, you are explaining why it somehow is not. And there is one last thing that lives in no study. Anyone who has been truly, deeply sad already knows it. Animals do not try to fix you. When your sadness has no solution, most people do not know what to do. They give advice, they say it could be worse, they want the pain to stop. Partly for you, partly for themselves. Your dog does none of that, your dog just stays. No agenda, no discomfort, no need to move things forward. Just warmth and weight, and a body that refuses to leave your side. And maybe that is the quiet lesson underneath all of it. The animals best at sensing our pain are also best at simply sitting in it with us. Not fixing, not explaining, just noticing and coming close. If your own animal has ever done exactly this for you, stay a moment. Subscribe, and the next quiet question will find you when it is ready. And send this to someone whose dog or cat quietly gets them through the hard days. So do animals know when you are sad? Yes, unambiguously. Dogs smell it with a precision that makes our senses look broken. Cats build a private map of you, one quiet year at a time. Horses remember an emotion and carry it for hours. Elephants reach across the lines between species toward distress not their own. And some of them, when they find your sadness, do not run. They come toward it calmly, in a way that looks by every measure like care. We share this world with creatures who spent millions of years learning to feel, and thousands of years learning to feel for us specifically. Your dog did not fix your bad day, he did not try. He put his head in your lap and he stayed. And in that quiet, wordless gesture was something you understood instantly. You were seen, you were not alone. And for a creature who could never explain any of it, he understood every bit.